Hello, my name is Karoline Radka, and I am thrilled to submit this video as a Child Life Internship applicant for the fall of 2019 at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. As I was entering college at Oklahoma State University, I wasn't quite sure what career path I wanted to choose. However, I knew I had two great passions, working with children and working in the medical field. After learning about child life and hearing so many incredible stories, I knew that this was the career of my dreams. I wanted to be able to fully immerse myself into this profession, and by gaining many opportunities and experiences, I've been able to do this. My driving force behind wanting to be a child life specialist is I firmly believe that children shouldn't have to compromise their normal childhood experiences. And it is through child life that we're able to offer this sense of normalcy and advocacy in such a foreign place. I want to be able to empower these patients and their families so that hopefully they're able to integrate themselves back into the world after they leave the hospital. During my practicum experience at Dallas Children's Hospital, I was able to gain so many different opportunities and experiences learning about the role of child life and everything that is integrated in it. I was also able to learn from many different patients and families and through what they're experiencing in the hospital setting. There's one instance in particular that really stands out to me. A single mother came in with her daughter and were being served on the nephrology unit. The daughter was a 4-year-old typically developing patient, and the doctors didn't really know what was going on with her, and so they were doing so many different tests. The hospital can be stressful in its own self, but not knowing what's wrong with your child can add to the level of stress. My supervisor and myself had been able to gain so much rapport with this patient, doing activities at bedside, working on medical play, integrating herself into the hospital setting, and by talking through what the different tests the patient was experiencing and how they were making her feel. There's one instance in particular that stands out to me with working with this family. I was tasked with inviting this patient to an event and introducing services once more. After knocking on the door of this patient's room, I hadn't heard a response, and so as my supervisor has done in the past, I slowly entered the room. The parent came out pretty frazzled out of the bathroom, and she eventually came and slammed the door in my face. I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I went to my supervisor and I told her about this instance, and she continuously apologized, not knowing that the parent would have this kind of response. I chose to take an approach of gaining a level of understanding for this parent. Not knowing what's wrong with your daughter, being in the hospital with your child, being a single mother who has children at home can add to a level of stress and also distraction of not being able to fully immerse yourself into the child and what they need while they're in the hospital. And then also, we weren't sure what was going on with this patient and her mother during the day before we had entered the child's room. And sure enough, we soon went back to this patient's room after we gave them a little bit of time and a little bit of space. And we had learned that this patient was continuously throwing up, and this parent was having to bathe her child over and over and over again. And this created a level of stress, and so this experience has given me many different opportunities of being reminded that we don't always know where families are coming from. We don't always know what background they're coming into or what they're experiencing in their daily lives. And so it's really important for us to walk into each room and to be reminded of gaining this level of understanding for the families. As a firm believer in family-centered care, I always want to make sure that I'm providing the best services possible to each family and patient as they're entering the hospital for treatment with different unique experiences and backgrounds. It is through these instances that I know that a child is going to be quicker to respond to someone who gets down on their level, who meets them where they're at. And so that's exactly what I try to do. I always work to match affect, to meet the patient where they're at, and to talk with them eye to eye so that they feel less intimidated and they can begin to build that trust. I work to make observations around the room of maybe a patient has Paw Patrol on their backpack or Minnie Mouse on their shirt. And I want to make these observations so that I can build this rapport and eventually begin to gain this level of trust with the patient and their family.